Hi everyone, this is Celeste. This is my backyard garden. It's off to the side of my house. It's one of my little sitting areas that I have. And it is March of 2024, Zone 9B in the morning time. This area tends to get blasted pretty hard during the summertime with sun. But this time of year it stays pretty shady. It's pretty nice along this area. But I'm sitting here finishing up my coffee and noticing this little bit of not good fun. First of all, it's very overgrown. So clearly I need to work on that. And that's something I'm going to take care of today. But even worse, let me stand up so you can actually see. The dog has been doing some damage. So my older dog, she's a little over 4 years, and she actually doesn't go back in here. She's, learned basically over time that I don't want her in the back. But I have the 2-year-old whose name is Looney Tunes for a reason, and this will be why. And unfortunately, I was hoping as she got bigger she wouldn't be able to fit between this little gate or little fence area that I've got, but she actually can. She never got fat enough where she couldn't fit through. So she likes to sneak in here. For the most part, I don't have many problems, but she every once in a while just all of a sudden decides she needs to start going in and messing with the plants, which is extremely frustrating. So I'm gonna pull this apart today and fix this whole area. It was overdue anyway. Looks like she just basically broke a jade and made a nice little path for herself. And if we keep going along here, these adorable, by the way. Look at these little blooms. Absolutely beautiful. So as I'm cutting these, I'll probably save these tops and make sure that I'm putting them around in different spots in the yard because they're just absolutely adorable. But as you can see, she's created a nice little trail for herself. It's like she took out a couple aeoniums and then made that little hidey hole over there. Now what she thinks she was doing, I don't know, because she's blocked by that post. So it's not like she could go anywhere. I don't know what she was doing. But she messed with it. So now I need to come in here and I need to fix this. So that's going to be my little chore for today, is to fix that. Another little casualty I had during the storm, this pot. This is Aeonium Peacock, and I'm standing in the lights. Let me get out of the light so you can see. Absolutely gorgeous, but aphids love this sucker. So it's a big problem. But the casualty part of it was the pot tipped over, believe it or not. It's super heavy, so I don't even know how that happened. That's how strong the winds were basically on the side of the house. And this Echeveria did not have a good time. Plus you can see I lost most of my top dress and got rid of it. So I need to sort that out. Thank you, Coco. So I will need to sort that out. And then while I was taking a look at some of the other plants, I also realized I have to go through the hanging plants to see. But I also realized that this happened. So it looks like it's gotten soft or icky or something's going on. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then this little part right here is dying. And so I need to kind of pull this out and look. Is this an Aeonium crest? That should not be happening. So I don't know what's going on here, but you see it can't hold itself up anymore. So something's wrong, right? That's how you can tell when the plant starts getting squishy. So there's some level of rot or something, and there's a piece back here that did the same thing. Nothing hit this, so there's something going on systemically with the plant. So I'm going to need to pull that apart. But when you see your plant acting like this is not normal, especially for aeoniums. So you really want to, you know, pull that part off. Crests are really susceptible to rot. Like, I can feel it. It's squishy right here. So I'm going to need to come in basically with a knife and cut all of that part out there, and then save as much of the part that's fallen as I possibly can. And so basically it's just taking a knife, cutting off the part that's rotten. I'll treat it with a antibacterial to make sure that the bigger plant doesn't die and that the rot doesn't continue to spread. And then I will try to save those pieces as much as possible just by cutting off the rot. So, and you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll put part of it back in, or I'll plant it elsewhere. But that's something that I need to take care of. One of the things, this is the weird thing about growing these type of plants, is that sometimes they'll do this on you. And it's just, you know, no real reason. I actually just repotted this recently, so it had appropriate drainage, it had everything it needed. It just, sometimes, especially crests, they don't like a lot of water. You have to really, really, really be careful with those, and so I have to make sure that I take care of that. If you're wondering what this white thing is back, that has all these pieces of glass all over it, this is actually the cover for my air conditioner, which hopefully someday I will get rid of and get a mini split instead, because I would prefer, instead of having the air conditioner on the ground, I would actually like a mini split that's up on the side of the house, and then I would actually be able to take back this space and I could plant things. So eventually, at some point. But for now, that's what I do to kind of disguise it, because I don't like looking at air conditioners. And then of course I put a wall of plants in front of it. So here's more aeoniums. There's always aeoniums everywhere. Pot that I redid recently, which for the most part is doing okay. The aeonium cyclops. More aeoniums. This pot right here in the corner, next to all the wonderful weeds, that is actually a pot from a friend of mine. He's a local potter. Put a link in the description to his Facebook page in case anybody's interested in purchasing from him. But super talented. I love his pots. I have another friend, Linnell, also, who does pots. So check the descriptions of my videos, because I will often put links to people, you know, local artisans, basically. If you're in the San Jose area, in California, otherwise, you know, I encourage you to join your local succulent and cactus society, because pottery and plant people go hand in hand, and so you can often meet a lot of potters there, and you can get custom pottery. It's pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to get started, and then I'll give you an update at the end with what it ends up looking like. So here's the design about partway through. I have ripped out most of the plant material, so you can see I have a lot of cuttings right here. I was actually surprised. I thought with, you know, as overgrown as that was, that there would be a lot more, but it actually ended up all being pretty leggy. And there's a cocoa bean. And so I ended up having to toss a good portion of it. But right now, this is what it looks like. And you can see I cut most of the pretty tops off of everything. So that's the stuff that I'll use when I'm putting the design back together. I'm not totally sure about these jades. Undulatas, this is a jade undulata right here. And normally what this does is it'll kind of get like a mounding, but what's happened is it's my dog, because she keeps going in and messing with this, it keeps breaking. Plus you can see she's kind of like pushed it over as she made her little, whatever that walkway was thing that she was doing. so not sure. I may just end up adding some other pieces that I have next to this to kind of fill it out, so we'll see. I don't like these posts like this to be exposed, so I'll probably use some of the undulata jade pieces over here as well, so that I can cover those up. Thankfully she didn't break my little talavera there, just super cute. But the top's rolled off, so you can see I'll put that back. Golem jade, looking extremely leggy, so I may cut that and shorten it, just so that it looks nicer. Again, more of the pretty tops from the old stuff that was in here. These are Dudleas. These are special Dudleas that were brought into our local plant society. And you need to be really careful with Dudleas. Don't, really purchase them carefully from a place that has not wild collected these. These are actually protected in California. We have people all up and down the state of California that are ripping these off from the coastline and destroying habitats. So you really want to make sure that you're not purchasing these type of plants from someone who's wild collecting, because they're basically just destroying the planet for future generations, and that's just not cool. So really watch it when you're buying certain types of plants, especially if they're a little more on the rare side. Here's another one of those undulatas. Coco, stay out of the plants. This little area I'll probably clean up some more. I didn't pull everything out of there that I wanted to, but I'll get to it in a bit. This blue elf I'll likely keep where it is. It's pretty big and top heavy, and it's about to bloom some more, so I'll probably just leave that. Fix this poor little jade here that got knocked over by the dog. And you can see I limbed up underneath this foxtail agave. This guy is massive and probably gonna have to be moved pretty soon. But, I don't know, it's beautiful. so probably leave it for a little while, and eventually, maybe when I redo that back corner, I'll look at pulling that out, and maybe that'll be part of what goes next to that fountain. I also planted this desert museum tree. These get 30 feet tall. I've mentioned previously in some of my videos, but this is a problem area for me because it gets super hot. So the idea with this tree is that eventually it's going to grow up and it's going to give filtered light. These trees are great to plant under because you can see these super teeny tiny leaves. So they're not going to actually cause a bunch of detritus and leaves and stuff around the bases of your plant, which can cause it to rot. So they are great to plant under. So I'm going to go ahead and put that guy in the ground. Been wanting to do that for a while. You can see there were some other undulatas that I took out. Again, I'm being super lazy here and I'm not yanking those out of the ground. Will they send up more plant material? Probably. I kind of don't care. That's okay. I'll hide that as I'm putting the design back together again. But this is what it looks like partway through. You can see some more of the plant material that I have. But again, it's not a lot compared to, well, I guess, the front yard, which had much, much more. But again, it was just really leggy, and then a lot of it was super gross. So I just went ahead and threw those pieces away, and then I'll come back through here and I'll start putting the design together. Is the final product. I'm not completely done, but the light is going to turn, and that's a bummer when you're doing a video. It's actually nicer to take a look at it when it looks like this. So I just wanted to make sure that I was catching it when the sun was hitting so you could see all the beautiful colors. I went a little further than I thought I was going to, which always happens. But this aloe is just the coolest thing. Got this a long time ago. Tiny, tiny, tiny little plug, and then it's just been living its happy little life right here. Really pretty though, with that kind of, you know, blue-green color. Little orangish pink tips. It's super pretty. Cannot for the life of me remember the name of it, so if somebody remembers what this is called, let me know. This is Blushing Beauty Aeonium. If you watch my channel, you know that's one of my favorites. It was actually really, really tall, so what I did is I just chopped the top off and stuck it down into the ground, so there's a stem behind there, and it'll grow more. But that is one of my favorites in the yard. It's just super hardy. It's starting to turn color. That's what happens as the temperatures warm up. Blushing Beauty Aeonium, really hardy in my area anyway, Zone 9B. And then it's also something that you can use in your garden because it's just really beautiful. It changes so many times per year what it actually looks like. So it's really great. Put some of the jades together. I know these will get big before people make comments. I know they will get big. It's okay. I come out here and I change this often. Last time I did this was about a year and a half ago. So I'm okay. I will come out and we'll do it again. These are lavender scallops. I was going to actually show you something really funny. Lavender scallops. This is what they do. When a leaf... Sorry, I'm trying not to move very quickly so you can see this. When a leaf falls off, look at all of those babies growing off of there. So every single one of those little nodes right here, that ends up starting to grow new babies. So you can see all new little plantlets that are coming out. So these plants are very prolific. That's why I don't worry too much when I chop them off and stick them in the ground. I really like those blooms though, so I wanted to keep the blooms as much as possible. That's another thing that's really cool about succulents, right? You can cut them like this, even with the blooms, and they will continue with their bloom cycle. This is a blue elf in the background. I use this a lot. Again, it can handle sometimes shadier areas. This area is another weird area of my yard where it gets a ton of sun certain time during the day, and then another time it's, you know, sitting in shade. So blue elf tends to grow really well. Put one of the deadlias over here. Just thought that would be super pretty. Deadlias are absolutely gorgeous. And I have a love-hate relationship with them though, because what they do is they trunk, and you're not supposed to pull off, like most aeoniums, you pull off all the dead leaves. Dead leaves is not a good idea. So that's not a look I like. So we'll see. We'll see how long I can handle that. Some more little aeoniums. Again, these are all just cuttings I've plopped in the ground. Things I'm thinking about when I redo a portion of the yard. Is it going to rain anytime soon? In my area, the ground is dry right now because all of this is mounded, really, really hard to see, but it is. And, you know, there's no standing water or anything, and the soil is not moist. So I'm safe cutting, putting it back in the ground. I know that no rain's coming. I know that I'm not going to have a problem. If I had rain coming, I would not do something like that. Sunburst Aeonium. That's this big one right here. Absolutely stunning. And there's that jade in the back that I was talking about earlier that I just wanted to kind of fill in. Hopefully that crassula. That's what this is. There, crassula. It's undulata jade is what it's called. And hopefully, eventually, that will start to fill in a little bit more. This is a new Echeveria. For the life of me, I cannot remember what the name is right now, but I will put it in the description because I just ordered it. It's super pretty. This is the Echeveria that used to be sitting there. As I mentioned in some of my other videos, what I do with these guys is I just wait until they get too tall, and I cut their heads off like that. You just set them on the ground. It will reroot. No big deal. And that's all you have to do. This is a pot that I just recently purchased. I think it's super cute. I have lots of blues. My house kind of has that as a theme. You can see some of the blue pots that I have. I like blue. So I just recently got this pot, but there's something funny about this. So most aeoniums, you get these kind of, you know, romantic names. Sometimes you can tell it was somebody's ex-girlfriend or a child or, you know, significant family member, or sometimes it's like a love in a fallen city or things like that. You know, they're just these super romantic names. And then there's this guy, Bacon. Somebody named Aeonium Bacon, which just cracks me up. So as soon as I saw that, I absolutely had to buy it, because that is the funniest thing ever in the world, to name an Aeonium Bacon. So Bacon, you get to be in the beautiful blue pot with the fire glass. And we will kind of watch this and we'll see what this looks like. But yeah, I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. All these romantic names, and this little guy gets the name Bacon. So, more of those sunburst aeoniums. Another Dudleya. It's this one right here. There's another Echeveria. It was not living its best life previously, so I went ahead and pulled it out. More of those lavender scallop plants. That's what these beautiful blooms are. You can see I put another one of those undulata jades towards the back. Another Dudleya down here. And it'll be slightly protected behind that pot when the sun starts coming in and beating in hard on that. But if it gets really bad, I can always just put a pot in front of it to help it out. This is a Makeover that I got a while back. I cannot for the life of me remember what kind that is, so we shall see. This red one right here, Agavoides. And so as this gets hotter and hotter and hotter in this section, this is going to start turning beet red. You can see the tips of the plant starting to do that. I started out with just one of these guys in the yard, and it went crazy. It pops. You can see these little babies off to the side right here, right? And it popped like crazy. And so I ended up spreading them all over my yard. They're really cool. Another huge aeonium. I popped in some more of the undulata jade right here just to help fill this guy out. It's got a little bit of a height difference, which I'm not too excited about. You can see this one's super high and this is low, but we'll see what happens. More of those lavender scallops. The pretty little flowers on them. Another jade and an aeonium. And here's where you can see I'm not quite done. I will cover up all of these stems down here that I made the cuttings off of. But I wanted to get this video in before the light turned, which you can see it's already starting to do. This blue elf is gonna bloom. This is called a blue whale's tongue, and it is pricey. Very, very, very pretty. I'm not sure how much it likes that pot though, so I'm a little scared to put it in the ground. I have this feeling it just turns into a big monster. I need to look it up and read a little bit more about it, but it's really, really, really pretty. You can always tell when I've spent a bit of money on a plant because they tend to have plant tags on them. Some more of those jades in the back. And you can see that Avada jade. Some of the little different kinds of jade there. And sunburst aeoniums down here. Fills in around the pot. I had a Medusa's head, which is a euphorbia. That's what this one is right here. Had it sitting in a pot, and it was looking like the stem was getting a little squishy, which freaked me out. So I cut it. Boy, do those things, it's weird. It's like you cut them and there's this white sap that comes out. It's like the plant's bleeding. I mean, I've never seen a plant do it where it just like pours out of it. But you have to be really careful with euphorbias because you cannot get that on your skin. Definitely don't get it in your eyes. Don't get it in your mouth at all, because you'll have to go to the emergency room. And another sunburst aeonium. So I have a little bit more cleanup work to do to get this into a better state. But that is the new cleaned up area, which is much prettier than the old version was. I'll go back to where I was originally sitting. This is my little seated area. So this is my view when I come over here, drink my coffee, check out my aeoniums that I've got. This will last probably maybe about a year, and I'll have to come back through again and clean all of this up, but you can see how absolutely stunning it is. And I will keep giving you updates on bacon, because I can't believe somebody named an aeonium bacon. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave me comments, ask me questions. I'm happy to answer if I can. And like and subscribe. Have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.